Okay, today we're talking about one of the most scary forms of neurodivergency probably ever, because today we're going to be talking about epilepsy. Now, I definitely don't have epilepsy. I thought it could just happen at random. Like, I didn't know it was, like, actually a condition. I thought, just anything could cause it. That's the Porygon episode's fault. I thought that, like, because obviously that's how I learned about what epilepsy was, and I thought that flashing lights could just cause that for out of nowhere. I didn't know that you actually had to have epilepsy for it to happen, and that it's not just the flashing lights that can cause it. It can happen like anytime. So yeah, but don't worry, there is going to be absolutely no Porygons in this video. But yeah, jokes aside, let's get into it. Okay, now first off, epilepsy is a group of non-communicational neurological disorders, cannot believe I nailed that, characterized by recurring epileptic seizures. I'm not going to show you a demonstration of what a seizure is, because I think that's very offensive if I do that. So, no bueno. But, like, there's also a misconception that a seizure is just, like, the shaking part, but there's actually more to it than that. Like, a seizure could just be someone stopping for no reason. And I have heard on Reddit of people with seizures, and, like, they say that, like, there's, like, a moment where, like, they just zone out, and then that's how they know the seizure's gonna happen. And, yeah. Fortunately, I've never had to, like, deal with anyone having a seizure before, but if I feel like I don't know what I'd do if that happened. I would be terrified, to be honest. Like, yeah. Actually, one of my favorite YouTubers has had epilepsy, and ironically, it was actually not, it wasn't named after him, but he had the same name as it, which I find quite, like, ironic. Like, it's not funny, obviously, because that's never funny, but yeah, he had, like, what was it, Rolandic epilepsy, and his name is Roly, which is, like, oh my god. Now, I know I just explained it, but it goes more into detail on what a seizure is. An epileptic seizure is the clinical manifestation of an abnormal, excessive, and synchronized electrical discharge of the neurons. Neurons, okay, I know what they are. So yeah, that's basically what that is. I'm not going to demonstrate it, and if you want, I kind of feel like I shouldn't say this, but if you are curious to what a seizure actually looks like, I just recommend doing it yourself. Like, not having a seizure yourself, like, doing your own research, because I don't want to show any clips, I don't want to try and demonstrate it, because I just feel like that's not for here. So yeah, if you are curious to what a seizure actually looks like, maybe just do your own research on that, because this ain't the place for that, sorry. I didn't know this. The occurrence of 2 or more unprovoked seizures is the defined definition of epilepsy. So yeah, if you just say you had one seizure your entire life, you probably don't have epilepsy. You probably just had a seizure for some reason, because, sometimes they can happen out of nowhere, but, like, there is a reason for it. I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, this one, like, if you have seizures multiple times, then you probably have epilepsy and you should probably get that checked out. Yeah. I don't really know what else to elaborate on that, so I'll just leave it there. I feel like I should say this as well. Like, every epileptic seizure goes on for, like, a different amount of time. So it could be quick one, or one could be, like, really long, and, like, you don't know when it's going to stop, or, like, different ones like that. Like, it can be scary. You can go for long periods of vigorous shaking due to abnormal electron activity in the brain, which, that is quite terrifying to think of. But, unfortunately, people just have to deal with it. Sometimes epilepsy can go away, I think, because I think Rowley hasn't had one for years, but it's always still a risk, I think. Although, if you do have epilepsy, you have to be careful, because sometimes it can cause damage, like, like, broken bones, or, like, you could, like, hit your head or something, or you could even hit someone else when you're shaking. Like, there's a lot of, like, ways that you could like, cause an accident when you're having a seizure, which, the seizure in itself is kind of an accident, but you have to be careful and, like, make sure that you're taking all the precautions if you have epilepsy. Okay, I didn't know this, but isolated seizures that are provoked by a specific cause, such as poisoning, which I didn't know that was a thing, are not deemed to represent epilepsy, which, yeah, like I said, anything could cause a seizure, like, but it doesn't mean you have epilepsy, because it could just be a one-time thing where your body just reacted to it. So, yeah, if you have had a seizure in your life, but just one or maybe a couple, then you probably don't have epilepsy and you're probably safe. And here we get to the sick parts. People with epilepsy may be treated differently in various areas of the world and experience varying degrees of social stigma due to the alarming nature of their symptoms. So, I'm assuming that this means that people think that they have demons inside them, which, yeah, of course. Because obviously back in, like, the days when, like, the castles and the princesses, whatever, Obviously, they didn't believe in, like, medicine or doctors, but to be fair, we still have a problem with that, but let's not worry about that now. So yeah, people thought that people with neurodivergencies were just either cursed or had demons inside them, so, that's why they had exorcists, and yeah, where I don't really want to get into that because I think that's really sick and disgusting, but it's fine, we're doing better now, I'm glad that I was born in this age, well, kind of. So, yeah, I assume that's what this is talking about. Also, this kind of makes sense. The reason that epilepsy occurs is sometimes unknown, but some cases occur as a result of like a brain injury, a stroke, brain tumor, infections of the brain, a birth defect through a process known as epilepsy. I'm not even pronouncing that word. No, known genetic mutations are directly linked to a small proportion of cases. Interesting, okay. I guess that kind of makes sense if it's something about the brain, yeah, but, sometimes you are just born with it, unfortunately, and you have to deal with it. The good news is, epilepsy that occurs as a result of other issues may be preventable, so sometimes it can be preventable, which is good. Well, not all the time, though. Seizures are controlled with medication about 69% of cases. Of course it is. I'm not laughing at that. You know what I'm laughing at. Okay, I kind of mentioned this earlier in the video, so I'm glad that I actually was proven right there. Not all cases of epilepsy are lifelong, and many people improve to their point of that treatment is no longer needed. So, there you go. Sometimes you can actually, outgrow epilepsy. So, there you go. It's the one neurodivergency that can actually disappear. So, yeah. Okay, our last point for this video. As of 2021, about 51 million people have epilepsy. Nearly 80% of cases occur in the developing world. I don't know what that last part means. I think it means as kids? I don't know. So, yeah. That's like, I don't know what percentage that is. It's actually quite a small percentage when you think about how many people are on the planet. So, I don't think a lot of people have them. Well, a lot of people do have them, because that is a lot. But still, I do feel bad for everyone that has epilepsy. But hopefully you have ways to manage it, So, that was my video about having epilepsy. Don't know if this is my best video, but I'm okay. Sometimes when I feel like a video isn't good enough, I usually record it, but I don't think I'm going to re-record this one. I think it's fine. Let me know if you have epilepsy in the comments down below, or don't, because you don't owe me that information. But actually, if you do want to share, I do need to ask, is there an epileptic pride flag? Because I tried to find one for the thumbnail of this video, and I couldn't find one, so I had to make the thumbnails, background by myself. I used purple, because that's the color of, what's it called, the epilepsy awareness ribbon. So yeah, I wasn't sure about this one, so please let me know what you think. But anyway, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!